everyone, welcome to the YarnNecklaces channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these pretty beaded wire wrapped rings, and the best part is they're adjustable. This is actually one of the first wire projects I ever attempted. I have only been working with wire since last year, but I really enjoy it. So let's get right into it. The supplies you're going to need to make the wire ring are two types of wire. I have aluminum wire. This is 1mm aluminum wire. It's 1mm thick. And also this is a silver plated copper wire, and it is 0.6mm thick. And then you'll also want these tools here. You're going to need a pliers that has a smooth edge on the inside, and then a round nose pliers and a wire cutters. And then you'll want 6 beads. That's to make like the adult size. And if you're making a kid size, probably about 5 beads, 4 beads if it's a real young little girl. And then you may want a ring mandrel, but you don't really need it because you can just bend the ring with your fingers to the size you want it. And then you also want a ruler to measure out your wire. So let's go. Let's take our wire. We'll take our 1mm aluminum wire, and we're going to measure out 10 inches. And we're going to do this twice. So measure out 10 inches. Cut it there. And then measure out another 10 inches. Then with your thinner wire, the 0.6mm wire, you're going to measure out 14 inches. And you want to smooth it out as much as you can with your fingers. So you got 12. 2 more inches will be 14. So the first thing you want to do is take one of your 10-inch pieces and just fold it in half. And then you want to get it as close as possible on the fold with your fingers. And then take your tool and squeeze this together. And be careful because it'll try to bend the wrong way. So you just slowly squeeze it together. Likes to bend over each other. And then what you're going to do is form your little heart. So you're going to take it like this and hold it right here and just kind of bend it around this way. This will form the top humps of your heart. And then you can crisscross these and try and get that heart symmetrical. So now that you have your heart, you want to bend both of these wires back. So we're going to bend this one back right where this cross is. So bend it back like this and bend the other one back like this. You just want them touching like that. Then we're going to set this down and pick up our 14-inch piece. This is the thinner wire, the 6mm wire, or 0.6mm wire. And then you're going to take one of your tools, use your round nose pliers, and measure out about the same length as this. I don't know exactly how much that is. So about the same length as from here to here. And then you're going to bend this at a right angle, like 90 degrees. Like that. And then take your round nose pliers and put it right here, right on the side of the longer piece. Try not to poke yourself. And then put it right there. You want it close to the edge because you want a small loop, but you're going to take it and bend it over like this, and just bend it so it's going straight that way. So it's just another 90-degree angle, just going the opposite way. And then you've made this little sort of a half loop here. And then what you're going to do is take your heart piece and kind of just slide it in here. And it just kind of fits in there like that. So it's kind of just getting it started so it's easier to wrap around. So you're going to take these 3 pieces and just hold them in place, and take your long piece here and wrap it around. Just want to make sure these don't move. Wrap it around, and you have one loop here. You're going to wrap it this direction like that, so it's underneath it. So wrap the second loop away from the heart. And then you can just keep it right there. So then you have these 4 pieces on there, just looks like this. So your next step is take your first bead and then string it on to the 6mm wire, this middle one right here. And push it all the way up. And you can even move these 2 wires out so that your bead goes all the way up. And then you can just set this down because we're going to pick up our other 10-inch piece and fold that one in half. Get it a little bit better folded there. Then you're not going to make a heart with this one. You're just going to cross it over. So it doesn't matter which one goes over which wire. Just make like a loop like that. And then you can kind of pull it out just a little bit, just like this. Just making like kind of a very narrow U shape. Then you're going to take that bended part and put it over your heart and just set it on top like this. So the bottom part is underneath your heart and these 2 wires are over these 2 wires. And then you just want to make sure that bead is right close to this part up here. Then you can take this U-shaped part and cross it over your bead. So you're just trying to hug your bead right there. So just crisscross these 2. This is probably the trickiest part. So if you can get through this, then you're good to go. Then you want to take this part and just bend it back so that it's not crossed over, but these 2 wires are still going to touch like that. So it looks like this right now. Then you want to keep your wires all organized here. And you're going to take this long wire. This is the other piece of our 0.6mm wire. And we're going to use this one to wrap around. So we're always using this wire to wrap around. So we're going to take it under and just kind of hold this in place. Take it under. And you're going to wrap around right here, right where these 2 touch. So hold it here. And I usually have these 2 touch above this one, but it doesn't matter too much. You can always move it when you're done wrapping. So you just want to wrap it around once and then wrap it around 2 times. And it looks like that. And then you can kind of pull on these to make your bead fit in there a little bit tighter. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's about how it looks when you're first getting started. So now you're going to string another bead on. Take our bead here. And then you can push these up like this so your bead fits as close as possible. And we're going to use these 2 wires to hug that bead. So we're going to just hold it like this and bend it down over this and over this. And then bend this over. And you just want to have that as snug as possible. And then you can bend these back to where they're going to touch. And now you're ready to wrap around again. So take this one, go underneath, and just hold it there, and then wrap around once, wrap around twice. And just leave it right there. And let me show you the next one. You can pull these up a little bit more so the bead's like real close to there. And then fold this part over, fold this part over, and then bend it back. Then wrap around with your wrapping wire. And now you just finished your last bead, and you want to make sure this part is underneath these two just for that one. So just make sure this wire, when these two are closed, this wire is sitting underneath these two. And what you're going to do is take the wire that you've been wrapping with and this wire here. These are both the 6mm ones. I keep saying 6mm, they're 0.6 millimeters. And then you're going to just twist them like this, and just twist them like close to this part here, as close as you can. Just do it like maybe like 3 or 4 times. It's probably plenty. And then you're going to take your wire cutters, and what you want to do with this is you're going to cut it pretty close to here, and then we're going to bend it and kind of stick it in between like the bead and this wire here. So you have to cut it pretty close, but don't cut it too close. So kind of experiment with this. So I'm going to cut it like right here. And then you're going to take the round nose pliers. I feel like this one is the best one to use for this because it's got like a tiny point at the top. Take that, and we're just going to bend this over, kind of push it in there. And there you go. So it's kind of squeezed in there. And if you feel like it's not quite in there, you can always use your other pliers. Kind of squeeze it a little bit more, but just be careful you don't scratch up this side because the aluminum wire can scratch pretty easily. You just want to make sure there's no rough edges after you're done doing that. If there is, then you want to make sure you kind of push it in there a little bit more. So now you have these 4 little wires hanging out, and you're going to cut these about 1/4 to 3/8 inches. So that's about here. I don't usually measure it. I kind of made enough of these where I know where to cut. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Just want a short little piece of wire hanging out because we're going to curl these. Make a little spiral. So we'll start with this one here. I'm just going to take my round nose pliers and put it towards the end of this one. And you can tell I'm pretty close to the end of my round nose pliers too. And I'm just going to bend it this way and then just keep curling it as I go. Just curl it in. And you can tell it's not quite flat. So what I'm going to do is just take my other pliers and just flatten it out like that. And then we can do our other ones. We can do this side and just take it and curl it like this. That one's pretty flat. Then you're going to take these two and curl them down the opposite way. And you could just make sure all of those are flat. And then you can just bend this ring. I usually just bend it with my fingers, but you can use a ring mandrel if you want. Just bend it like this in the shape of a circle. And then you can try it on, see how it fits. And you're all set. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you were able to make one with me. If you did, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I do tutorials like this all the time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.